Hi, this is Bill Hader.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader?
Welcome to We Heart Hader. Everything you need to know about Bill Hader, and maybe some things you didn't want to know, but here you go. I am Deez Barons.
And I am Casey Killingsworth.
We are presenting today the third in our No Small Roles series, animation with little bits of Bill.
But it's bits of Bill because it's television animation and not movie animation.
Yes, which we covered a few episodes ago. So after No Small Roles, we'll be getting to the mid-range roles series. The ones where he's basically told to fuck off for the rest of the movie. Exciting news in the Wacky Notion Productions universe. We have our sister podcast, Saturday Night Ladies. We had Demi from the Saturday Night Network chat rooms on for this episode, and it went so awesome. We invited her to join the show on a permanent basis. We're going to have Casey on for the Nikki Glazer episode.
Very proud to be the first straight white cisgender male guest on SNL Ladies. As a fan of Nikki Glazer's, I kind of view her as a female comic who has plenty of crossover with both male and female audiences. I was even in the audience for the taping of her Good Clean Filth special from about 3 years ago, which you can see on HBO Max. Looking forward to that recording because, you know, Nikki's someone everyone loves and respects for how outrageous and honest she's willing to be.
And Nikki does have a Bill Hader connection. She was one of the friends in the baby shower scene in Trainwreck.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, I love that movie, which we'll cover eventually, but I'm sorry. Every time I see Trainwreck, I fall in love with Bill even more. He's just so awesome with that. So, into the cartoons now. So, we found quite a few little bits. First one we have in our list for discussion is from 2009, Xavier Renegade Angel, which features an elaborate and non-linear plot following the musings of an intra-humanoid pseudo-shaman named Xavier. The show is known for its use of ideologically critical dark comedy, as well as surrealist and absurdist humor presented through a psychedelic and satirically new age lens. There is one connection with Bill Hader with this as well. One of the creators is Vernon Chapman, who he worked with on South Park.
Yeah, and I'm guessing Bill mainly did this show as a favor to Vernon Chapman, who also created the MTV2 cult hit Wonder Shows, in which Xavier Renegade Angel gave me pretty heavy Wonder Shows and vibe.
He appears in 2 episodes in season 2, actually. So the first one is season 2, episode 1. The title is Vibracost. The plot centers on Xavier's quest to save a town from a mysterious virus, which he decides to fight with an equally mysterious computer virus he obtains from a U.S. Army base. So what they're doing is they're taking Gregorian monks, doing their chanting, and putting it into a pill so that you can swallow the pill and therefore get your Zen on. He does play a actual priest in this, because Xavier is always trying to save people, and so he sees the priest with a little boy. But the twist on this is it's actually the little boy that is abusing the priest.
You did a good job keeping our secret. Just don't ever tell nobody about what I do to you, or I cut your parts off and feed them to my teddy bear, Mr. Ruffles.
Okay, just don't do those things to me bad place anymore.
I'll do what I want. Got it?
Just shameless.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciated the twist of the priest being the victim, although something about it was a little too dark and off-putting for me. I mean, I liked seeing Bill doing your stereotypically Irish accented priest, but you know, this was an episode that I was watching late at night in bed. I couldn't even really stay fully awake long enough to pick Bill's voice out, which isn't a good sign. I like the sheer Dadaist absurdity. I mean, I like Tim and Eric. I like a lot of Adult Swim. I like the next show we're going to discuss. I like this, and I like that, and like the the crappy 90s PC game level of animation on display here, but this show didn't really let me get past the edgelord shock humor of the time to let me enjoy those aspects of it.
The next episode, called Xavier's Maneuver, now this one's a bit of a sort of a winding kind of plot because it kind of goes all over the place. He's in there briefly as a character called Pavlov, who is a guy, I guess, with a business or restaurant that this mob guy is shaking him down. He's in a chicken restaurant. Customer chokes on a chicken bone. They give some of the Heimlich maneuver that launches the bone into somebody else. They get the Heimlich, and that launches the bone into somebody else, and one of those is the mob boss. For some reason, Xavier decides to attach himself to the mob boss, which is the Xavier's Maneuver. My thoughts in general for Xavier Renegade Angel, not a fan. Not because of the humor. I like dark humor as much as anyone. And I don't know if the style of that computer animation we're using was intentional or what they had access to at the time. I think it's more intentional. With animation, the look of the character design is something that's very important to me. So if I can't stand the look at something, it's going to impact my enjoyment of the show itself. Unfortunately, Xavier Renegade Angel is a very, very ugly show.
And I do think that style of animation was intentional for 2009. Especially, again, something that looks like a CDI game from 1998, like a DreamWorks demo reel or something like that. I wanted to like that visual style just for the sheer silliness of it. The rest of the show was a little too off-putting for me, and I didn't have a great time with Xavier Renegade Angel. So I would say this is not worth watching just to hear Bill's voice contribution.
But luckily it's out there on the web with a little extra searching, so it is available to be heard. But unless you're really a fan of really this excessively dark humor and you don't mind looking at very ugly animation, like this is like pre-reboot animation, definitely not worth watching for me. Still in 2009-2010 era, he appears in 2 episodes of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the surreal adventures and antics of 3 anthropomorphic fast food items. Master Shake, who's a total dick. Meatwad, who's just absolutely adorable. And Frylock, who is just Frylock. I know Master Shake is definitely supposed to be an asshole, but it's like sometimes he's too much of an asshole. For me, the hierarchy is Meatwad, Frylock, Master Shake. Is that the same for you?
Pretty much. I mean, I liked Frylock for being more the voice of reason to just rein in Master Shake's obnoxious stupidity. I mean, it's a funny dynamic to play off of, and Meatwad's sort of the palate cleanser, the treacle cutter from that. And normally as a whole, normally I like the show just fine. I first saw it when I was like 13 or 14, so it hit at the right time for me. And in case you don't know, this was one of Adult Swim's like flagship shows from its inception in the early 2000s. The best thing about it is very random, rapid fire absurdity. You get the same thing out of just a small clip of the show than you would from like an entire 11-minute full-length episode. The animation style's not ugly at all. It dovetails well with just the random, chaotic nature of it. But let's get into Bill's roles in season 6, episode 9, and season 7, episode 6, which you can see on HBO Max.
They're Inflatable Führer. He plays Adolf Hitler as a balloon after he died in a weird accident.
1945. So I'm thinking I'll smuggle it all out of the country in a balloon up my, shall we say, personal gas chamber. Boom! I explode from having too much of my decor and housewares up my ass. So my soul entered this balloon to create a perfect race of Aryan balloons to control the world!
This is not the only time that Bill Hader has portrayed Hitler. This was on the series Man Seeking Woman. He plays a very, very old Adolf Hitler who's dating the main character's ex. At one point, he kidnaps Meatwad and dresses him as a Hasidic Jew, and they try to deceive Hitler and eventually try to pop Hitler. I did love Meatwad when he was dressed as the Hasidic Jew, because the dialogue they gave him a lot of good Yiddish words.
Oh, gewalt! I'm dangerous now! Oh, the thought of this!
Because I love Yiddish as a language. It's a language with lots of consonants. I just love for some reason. Pretty good episode. Oh, so what do you think of this one?
I liked it. Bill is an inflatable Hitler. It would be a little edgelordy on its own, but again, it's Aqua Teen Hunger Force, blends its edginess with all its other elements pretty well, so everything's kept in check here. Bill was quite funny in this, and the rest of it was just goofy enough to work for me.
The basis of Aqua Teen Hunger Force is inspired by the superhero teams of the 1970s, like Super Friends and all the other mystery-solving groups.
What about the second episode, I Am a Pod?
Season 7, Episode 6, Master Shake thinks he gets a beta test version of the new iPod, but turns out it's not iPod, it's I Am a Pod. So in the box is a bunch of seeds, which eventually get out of the box and grows this pod, who is played by Bill Hader. And he tries to befriend Master Shake because what he wants to do is...
Okay, fine. You want me to lay it out? I want to consume him and become him. Because he's my bud. And we bonded, man. We're tight.
Yeah, on a molecular level, huh?
Whoa, hey, where is this coming from?
I don't usually like characters with lots of eyes. It's one of those things that kind of creeps me out a bit. But I love the way that the pod was trying to gently convince Master Shake to be given to his whims.
I definitely like I Am a Pod a lot better than their Inflatable Fuhrer. This was a better of Bill's two Aqua Teen episodes. The pod was quite funny, minus a brief roofie joke. But other than that, it's just a harmless, silly Invasion of the Body Snatchers riff that worked well for me. And I do like that Aqua Teen Hunger Force is a show about a superhero team who we never see perform any superhero antics or save anybody. It's like Seinfeld, basically. It's just them just dicking around and goofing off at their house and just dealing with their slovenly neighbor Carl. It's a superhero show about nothing.
This episode is inspired by Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which starred Canadian actor Donald Sutherland, who is also mentioned in the episode. With the way Bill was doing with his voice and all. It's just the explanations of... The things he says sounds completely horrifying, yet his voice and tone makes it seem entirely reasonable.
Do you have money, transportation, and ID?
Well, I produce a cheesy sebaceous residue with my gullet gland. The smell, while horrifying, arouses me immensely.
Definitely one worth watching, and at some point I do want to get more into it, but there's always so many shows I can only watch at one time, so it's definitely, in general, that show is worth watching.
Maybe not just for Bill's parts, worth watching anytime you want something goofy and insane to watch.
We move on to just 2010. The series is called Ugly Americans. Focuses on the life of Mark Lilly, a social worker employed by the Department of Integration in an alternate reality version of New York, inhabited by monsters and other creatures. Season 1, Episode 2, An American Werewolf in America, which is a take on An American Werewolf in London, which is a very, very classic movie. The person who did the makeup for that, Rick Baker. Bill was doing Men in Black 3. He was there with Rick Baker for several hours a day, getting his makeup done, turning him into Andy Warhol. As Bill will do, like a Bill does, he asks basically a lot of questions about all the makeup. The 3 characters he plays in this. First is the werewolf. Mark, as the counselor, is trying to mediate between the werewolf and his victim to trust each other. This is compared to early history New York gang fights between vampires and the Irish in 1900. And in that film is featured William Dyer. Being a vampire, he's still alive. They go to Ray's Above Average pizza shop that he runs. And the final character he plays in this is Christ Angel, who is a parody of Chris Angel, Mind Freak, who is the older brother of Leonard Powers, who is a wizard on the show. He's a much more successful stage magician. Bazinga. That's right, I got you. Get off. Thank you. Cats.
Well, we've had a lot of fun tonight, but I'd like to slow things down for a minute and introduce my brother. Leonard, get your ass out of here! Hey, can you believe he's the younger brother? So old. Wrinkle face. Lenny, it's always good to see you, but I've been meaning to ask you something. Why you hitting yourself? Huh?
Ow.
Why you hitting yourself?
Ow.
Why you hitting yourself?
Ow.
Why you hitting yourself?
Stop.
Why
Ow.
you hitting
Each character is completely different, and it just shows a really nice bit of range for him in this one.
Yeah, out of just Bill's character, I liked his werewolf character much more than his Christ Angel character, and none of his characters in this seem to be featured very prominently in this episode. From what I saw, it was kind of hard to pick out, so I know there are like official clips of his performances on YouTube from like official Comedy Central accounts, from international Comedy Central accounts on YouTube. So I'll say you can get all you'll need to hear from Bill out of just those clips if you can find them on YouTube. But overall, this show seemed like a bit of an acquired taste for its time to me. I mean, the animation style's not ugly, but just can be pretty flat and unappealing and doesn't dovetail well with the show itself. Can feel pretty grim and violent, and that animation style doesn't help with that. It's no wonder to me that this show is pretty much forgotten after 2 seasons. It's one of those things I wanted to like, but just couldn't come around on. So I'd say even just the 1 episode isn't quite worth watching, just for Bill.
And this being pre-VPN internet, I didn't have access to this show in Canada. And yeah, I was trying to find the entire episode, but it's like it's chopped up in so many little pieces that I actually thought these 3 characters were in 3 different episodes, but turns out they're all in the same one. I might give it a try if I can find it. It's kind of interesting. So next is the Venture Brothers, which is a series inspired by the cartoon Johnny Quest, which was a adventure cartoon in the 60s. The parody of this, from what I've seen, is spot on. This character they first plays through season 4 players of Richard Impossible, which is a villain character, which is a version of the Fantastic Four. Richard Impossible, which was previously played by Stephen Colbert.
I haven't seen much of the Venture Brothers, but most of what I've seen has been from early on in its run. I know Stephen Colbert did a lot of Adult Swim stuff early in Adult Swim's run before he started the Colbert Report. From what I have seen of the Venture Brothers, I do remember it getting a lot of positive buzz when it was on, and I do see why, because it's a very well put together show.
The 3 Richard Impossible appearances were Season 4, Episode 10, Pomp and Circuitry, Episode 11, Any Which Way But Zeus, and then my favorite title, Episode 13, Bright Lights, Dean City. We had 3 characters in a Season 5 episode, Season 7, called Bot Seeks Bot, which he played Dr. Phineas Phage, a character called Headshot, and a Flying Squid. This is a series I would really love to be able to see, but well, we do sort of have a version of Comedy Central now, Comedy Central and Cartoon Adult Swim in Canada. The only thing it has for the Venture Brothers and the On Demand is a long form movie that they did. So I have not really had a chance to experience a full episode.
And yeah, I would recommend watching this show if you can find it anywhere. I'd say it's worth watching just for Bill's scenes, because even in the small clips I've seen with Bill in them, it becomes obvious how well his acting style blends in with the rest of the show. Like, he plays a perfect straight man to all these absurd superheroes auditioning to join the Revenge Society, for instance.
So Dr. Phineas Phage is a virus-fiend supervillain and a senior member of the Guild of Calamitous Intent, and the former arch nemesis of Professor Impossible. So the 2 characters are connected.
Thought you could hide from me, eh, Professor Impossible?
Well, who's this ass?
Where the nucleotide is turned, my elastic antagonist, for no one can escape the infectious grip of the fiendish Dr. Phineas Spade! Leave me alone! No, come on! You've been sulking in there for months. Enough is enough.
The man said, leave him be.
Phantom Limb? Hey, you can't arch impossible. I'm his... Wait a minute. You're supposed to be in the... I'm gonna tell the guild!
If he gets away, I'm done for, Richard. You must help me.
How? What can I do?
Just hold on tight.
No! Proteins! Help me!
All right, Hamilton. You've got yourself a partner.
Almost kind of Vincent Price, like little shades of Vincent Price. Phantom Limb walks in, which is another great name, because he's missing a hand, but he has a holographic hand, I guess, where he comes in and there's like a line of bottles of urine in the room, and Richard is like, he's a take on Mr. Fantastic, but Venture Brothers, I think we can both say yay.
Yeah, definitely.
Bob's Burgers play the character of Mickey. As of season 12, the character was portrayed by John Cuban. A lot of people were off-put by the voice change.
Yeah, just like people would be just as off-put if they didn't change Jimmy Pesto's voice.
The episodes he voices is Bob the Afternoon. Season 3 is Bob Fires the Kid. Season 4, Ambergris. Season 5, Dawn of the Peck, Best Burger, and Copa Bob Banna. First appears in Bob Day Afternoon. Mickey has an obsession with robbing banks, notably the first Oceanside Savings Bank. Bob is in the bank while he's trying to rob it. Bob is taken hostage, and there's various conversations with Bob and the negotiators, and also talking to his daughter.
Hello, you're on with Bob's youngest child, Louise.
It's your daughter?
Oh, they work with me at the restaurant.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Such a good father.
Oh, no, it's more about not paying regular... Whatever.
You want to talk to your daddy?
No, I want to talk to you. You've been selected as the subject of my important person school essay.
Shut up.
Oh, don't tell me to shut up! Question 1. It's my daddy!
God!
How did you first get into bank robbing?
Me and a buddy of mine, we just kind of fell into it. You know, I had a gun, I needed some money.
All right, kiddo, we've had our fun now. Hand over the...
Daddy! My daddy's in there! So, just a couple more questions. I know you're busy.
Give me the phone. Give me that phone back.
Give it to me! You're being so rude right now!
Ow!
Ouch!
Serves you right, kid. Listen to me, Mickey. We need to talk.
No. You know what? I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the little girl.
Negative. You'll talk with me.
It's the girl, or, you know, I shoot somebody. I kill somebody.
All right, hang on.
Hi, listen, Mickey, you said you were a bank robber?
Hey, I'm going to shoot somebody.
Fine. Here she is.
This is Louise. I'm running the show now.
Bobby, I'm worried about you.
Who is this?
Hey, it's Linda.
Linda, hi.
Who's this?
This is Mickey. I'm a criminal.
Hey, Nikki.
How old are we?
Don't worry about it.
Ask about my money.
Hey, Mickey, my sister Tina's worried about her bank account.
I have $87 in that bank.
I heard 200, and I have just withdrawn her money for a peace of mind, huh?
Now, I haven't watched much of Bob Burgers in general. It's one of the ones where the character design is not quite to my taste. There was a point where he could not continue with doing the character, not because he didn't like doing it, but I think, from what I can tell from the timeline, that's when he was starting to work on Barry and the development of that. He also played Mickey's father, Big Bob, in one of the later episodes.
I've always found Bob's Burgers to be a genuinely charming and funny show the few times I've seen it, although I haven't really watched it in a few years. It's a decent show. It's very heartwarming, and it's found its audience by this point. Bill was great as a pathetic bank robber and a distant Jersey-esque father to Bob. I know that's your favorite shade of Bill. His episodes as Mickey seem to involve him much more in the entire plot of the show than the episodes with flashbacks to him as Bob's father. Which, you know, I could have sworn that at one point I saw an episode where Nick Offerman voiced Bob's father in like modern day. It involved him like coming to terms with the fact that his father was gay. But either way,
so apparently he does. He does not do the voice in Beach Please, which was a scheduling conflict, and that also the series curator Lauren Bouchard, because stepped into the role, and that was the first time people were really taken aback by it because apparently people did not like his performance as Mickey.
Either way, Bob's Burgers is a show that's constructed so any clip of his work's comedically out of context, where you may not have to watch the entire show just for Bill's parts, but if you do, it would be worth it, and especially since it's a lot more, accessible and digestible than any show on Adult Swim you can say the same thing about. So I would say, yes, that is worth watching any of those whole episodes just for Bill.
There's a compilation of the best of Mickey, which helped. And apparently they do the recording as a group instead of recording everyone's part separately, which, quite frankly, I love. I think a lot of more cartoons should do that.
And you can tell because of the dynamic and the way they play off each other. I mean, there's probably a lot of improv going on there that we don't probably has to be left on the cutting room floor, but definitely worth watching for the show and for Bill.
Season 24, as a character called Slava, who is the husband of the lady teaching Bart piano. And this is called The Fabulous Faker Boy, which is based off of the Fabulous Baker Boys. In this episode, they even include a scene with Bart at the piano and piano teacher on the piano, a la Fabulous Baker Boys, as portrayed by the Bridges brothers, and which was definitely much better than their appearance on SNL. We had a chance to watch it recently on This Week in SNL live feed, and it's like, no, this one just does not hold up. The one where he's more specifically featured is season 29, episode 12, Homer is Where the Art Isn't. This is best explained in a promo clip from Fox regarding a behind-the-scenes look at the episode.
Oh, everybody has to be quiet for a couple of seconds while I answer questions about your stupid show.
Thank goodness you're here, Mr. Manichek. You're the best freelance insurance investigator in the business.
The character I'm playing in this episode is named Manichek, who's kind of a suave detective. He's investigating a stolen painting.
Oh, well, isn't that just what we need? Some smug pretty boy out to make us cops look stupid.
Ah, Clancy, you're looking well fed. He's based on this character called Banachek, this 70s cop show. They just showed me a picture and I have to hear his voice, and I was like, oh, I know it. Okay. Turtleneck. The guy had a turtleneck on, and I'm like, I know exactly what that guy sounds like. That's quite a workout you're getting. Although I can think of a better one.
Sorry, but I'm in a committed relationship with the former Miss Denmark. She's created a breed of mosquito that cures malaria.
Well, if she invents a cure for commitment, let me know.
Homer is accused of stealing a multi-million-dollar painting after an auction after he lost the bid to tech mogul Megan Matheson. And Manichek is called in to investigate. In fact, he was able to say that, yep, I know exactly what this guy sounds like. Does not have to worry about how to do the voice. He's got it right on. And I agree, he does.
I have to say, I'm a longtime Simpsons fan myself. I think we both are. And I think we're both aware that nowadays, especially, people have pretty mixed feelings on The Simpsons due to its sheer longevity. So I would have to say whether or not this is worth watching just for Bill, that would heavily hinge on where you, the viewer, personally stand on modern Simpsons, or zombie Simpsons as they call it, i.e., when you personally stop acknowledging the show's existence. Me personally, I've been a long-time viewer, and there hasn't been much of a period where I stopped watching. Although I've been watching the That Week in SNL Sunday night Twitch streams more than my usual Fox shows, and just kind of, if you're open to modern Simpsons or post-season 10 Simpsons, whatever, then yes, these are worth watching. Bill's roles, you kind of have to watch the whole episode to know what's going on. His character, Slava, has a few scattered lines that are only part of the episode's B-plot, and they're slightly intertwined. Marge teaches Slava to drive in exchange for his daughter, Xenia, voiced by Jane Krakowski, giving Bart piano lessons. And as far as pros and cons, that episode is just before the point in The Simpsons modern run where viewers would be genuinely worried Julie Kavner's voice would give out completely while watching the show. But then again, this episode did give viewers a 30-second warning before and after a one-line Justin Bieber cameo that felt completely unnecessary. The episode where he plays Manichek, this slick 70s cop, Manichek and Mannix, and Bart yelled out while reciting his zombie spell in Treehouse of Horror 3. He's like the central focus of that character, so Manichek is a big part of the main plot of his episode, so you may have to watch the entire episode there because he's pretty heavily involved, and you get to see him play opposite Cecily Strong in her first and only guest starring role on The Simpsons. So there's pluses and minuses to both sides there, mostly pluses, but I think the good outweighs the bad.
Definitely Homer's Where the Art Isn't is my favorite of these two. Now, the original series, Banachek, starred George Peppard. Very similar to Columbo, NBC also had a Wednesday mystery movie anthology. It was one of 3 or 4 shows that were chasing with other similar series.
It's like a TV wheel when that was the thing.
Exactly. He definitely gets the spirit of the character. Clever one's okay. Definitely Homer, Where the Art Isn't. Highly worth a watch. Randy Cunningham, Ninth Grade Ninja, a Disney XD show, which was a Disney Channel geared more towards tween preteen boy. Now, I have not seen the series all the way through, but I enjoy this show. This show has an incredible voice cast, including Ben Schwartz as Randy Cunningham, John DiMaggio as Hannibal McFist, the main villain, Kevin Michael Richardson as William Viceroy III, his sidekick, Tim Curry as Sorcerer, and Jim Rash from Community as Principal Slimovitz. Randy Cunningham is a freshman who becomes the chosen ninja to protect his city from evil forces. He must balance his secret identity with the challenge of being a 9th grader. Elevated by his best friend, Howard Weinerman. He appears in 2 episodes in Season 2. Number 4, Whoopi 2, The Wrath of Whoopi, where Randy and Howard rescue their favorite animatronic rock star from Whoopi World, which is a play on the Chuck E. Cheese type of establishment, but discover that the rock star has been replaced by a villainous version, so they have to try and rescue the original Whoopi.
Thought you were gone for good.
Who the whoop are you?
The new and improved Whoopi.
Whoopi, too? Did you know about him?
Well, yeah. No, you didn't, liar. They built me when this loser went walkabout. But this park ain't big enough for 2 Whoopies, which is why I'm going to make sure there's only 1 Whoopi. Whoopi 2. That sound good?
Well, yeah.
Whoopi, no!
But the best episode he does is season 21, Randy Cunningham's Day Off, which is a play on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So he and his friend Howard decide to call in sick, but Howard's mother catches him, so he has to go to school. But Randy Cunningham takes the day off. It's like claiming with his mother, claiming that he's sick. Now he is home by himself with all the usual comfort things of when you're homesick. But then a doctor is sent to him, Dr. Sam. So as much as Randy wants to go out and do stuff on the town, a la Ferris Bueller, he gets into quarantine because it's possible that he might have donkeypox, which is highly contagious. So his day off didn't quite go as well as he wanted to.
Wendy, you're gonna have to be a brave little fella and stay home today.
That's the plan, Dr. Sam.
Whoa. General Mike, Dr. Sam. We got a code brown in Norrisville. It's donkeypox.
Plastic?
The plastic keeps you separated from the general population. There's a special doctor word for that. Quarantine.
Quarantine? Why am I quarantined?
I worked up your symptoms in my super special doctor book, and you have a nasty case of donkeypox, champ. Here, have a sticker. Uh-oh, you can't see that. It says, get well soon! which you won't.
Listen, I'm not really sick. I was faking.
But what about your symptoms, little big man? I mean, what about your numb butt?
I lied. I can totally feel my butt.
Cheese and Pete's lied? Why would anyone lie about the sickies? Sickies are the worsties.
Sorry, Dr. Sam. I gotta get to school.
Yes, you do. Education is important for healthy, glowing boys.
You're not gonna tell my mom about this, are you?
Wait, I have to, little buddy. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, even for a Disney XD show, I found this rather frenetic and off-putting and just all around odd, not in a fun, goofy way, but in more like a stilted, maybe this show's brand of humor is like 10 years behind the times kind of way, but it is a kid show. I feel like I'm aged out of its demographic. I mean, didn't seem to be for me, but I will say that Bill's voice acting was the best thing about the Whoopi 2 episode. Each episode is segmented into 2 different mini episodes. You know, the Whoopi 2 thing was kind of repetitive and odd, and Bill was quite good as Dr. Sam, even if I thought the baby talk was a little much. I liked hearing him switch from giving grim, serious commands like quarantine Randy's house and launch this decontamination missile after he lied about having donkeypox, and then Randy having to divert a decontamination missile into space using his ninja scarf. This was an obscure show that really ran the whole gamut. And I'd say the whole episodes aren't worth watching just for Bill, because you can, find small contained clips of his online out there.
See, I'm the complete opposite on the spectrum. Now, I am definitely out of the demographic, but I like the humor in this. The characters, the voices, just the show. I haven't watched all the series, but it's something that for me, it does appeal to my wacky sense of humor. But I like the animation in this. Ben Schwartz is a very solid voice actor. Randy Cunningham's Day Off is the superior episode. This is available on Disney Plus, so while there may not be any clips online of it, it is readily available to be viewed. Same thing with The Simpsons, which is also on Disney Plus. Now, strictly, this is not animation. It's more puppetry. But it can't be called live action either. So this is why we've included it in the animation one. 2019, the canceled way too soon, Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. He appears in episode 7 with Andy Samberg in the episode Time to Make My Move. He and Andy are Ergo the Wanderer and Skekra the Heretic. And the Skek were once one entity, but they got split up into the and the Skek. So the Ergo are kind of more philosophers, whereas the Skeks are more the Ergo and Skekra used to be one entity. And they were based on the protagonists from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And this is, for me, one of Bill's most underrated performances of all time. There's a lot of humor to it. Yeah, so the Gelflings, who are the main characters and species of the Dark Crystal, go to where is the Circle of the Sun in search of the Heretic, because they want to find out more about the enemy. So Skekra is definitely an Andy character, very more animated, kind of impatient, because he, like Ergo, wanted to get everyone back together in their original forms, but because he could never really convince anyone to do that, he is considered a heretic from their society. But Bill as Ergo talks very, very slow. Think of the sloth character in Zootopia.
I get quite a bit of slowed down Keith Morrison vibes from this clip, mixed with a little bit of Jimmy Fallon's John Lennon impression from Bill's character. And the clip I saw, it's available on YouTube, featured Bill's character being loudly chastised for his slowness by Andy Samberg's character, who's clearly the...
Look! These are the Gelfling that found our message!
One, did the message find them?
Would you just introduce yourself?
Yeah. I am...
Here we go.
Go.
Say it.
The
Wanderer. Say it! Just say Wanderer! Just get it out there! Your name is Ergo the Wanderer! At last!
I don't mean to be rude, but we have traveled very far because you said...
in your message?
Yes, in your message, that you held the key to ending Skex's power.
Do not worry, Gelfling. Soon, all will be revealed. But first, we have a wonderful surprise for you.
Or does the surprise have you?
That doesn't even make sense.
I'll say it was smart of the show's producers to put Bill and Andy together, because they've built up their chemistry and rapport at SNL for a decade leading up to this. But if you're tuning in just to see them, I feel like you can get what you would want out of another Hader and Sandberg pairing from just a single clip. So I'd say it's not worth watching just for Bill, but probably worth watching if you're a fan of the original Dark Crystal in the series and into the whole lore of the franchise. So
this is produced by Henson Productions, and their puppetry work still high class. You cannot go wrong with these guys. But I love the performances between the two of them. So this is not getting enough attention as it should. 2 more to go from 2021. The Adventure Time Distant Land, which is a 4-episode miniseries spin-off of Adventure Time. And he is in episode 4 called Wizard City. Pep, who is an anthropomorphic peppermint candy, joins a wizard school, plays Bufo, who is their instructor.
Quiet. Stop your walla.
Sit down and tip your hands!
Right off the bat, let's get the rumors out of the way. Yes, I used to be a dark wizard. Many say the greatest dark wizard. Did I swim deep in the looming gloom? Yes. Did I transcend the 8 schools of magic? Yep. Did I throw laser wizard and forest wizard under the bus to buy my own freedom? That's all in the past, and I'm not gonna talk about it. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about it.
He's based on a bullfrog, and he puffs out his chin, and there's these little creatures that are yelling for people to shut up. Adventure Time is another series I have not had much access to, just because of the channels that are on there up here, you have to pay for.
Yeah, I'll say Bill does decent voice acting in this one clip, but it didn't really grab me. And another show that didn't look all that appealing to me, looks a little too geared toward a kid audience. The animation style doesn't look that great. I wouldn't lump it in with Xavier or Ugly Americans or anything on Disney XD. I'd probably rather watch the original Adventure Time than this spinoff. So I wouldn't say it's worth watching just for Bill's part, because you can watch the clip online.
So Bill is a big Adventure Time fan, so I'm sure that's why he wanted to do it. Now we're going to finish off, yes, there's a lot of these, but then again, he's a very busy guy, with MODOK, which is a 1-season Disney Plus series based on the character MODOK from Marvel Comics. It's a combination of MODOK, the floating head villain, being in charge of his evil empire, but also features his family life. This is Season 1, Episode 4, If Saturday Be for the Boys. MODOK decides to drink his troubles away at Soho Bar, but discovers that he has lost his status with the other A-list villains, who challenge him to steal Captain America's shield to regain his membership. MODOK goes to the bar with no name and recruits D-list villains Armadillo, Poundcakes, Melter, Tenpin, Angar the Screamer, actual character from the comic. So this is not something that's just made up for them. Now, we all know that Bill continually says that he doesn't sing. And there's lots of things online that completely show that as a lie. I just think it's not just that confident on his singing. Did a song for the MODOK soundtrack. Yeah, so it was originally on Hulu, but now since Hulu has merged with Disney Plus, that's where we'll be. It only lasted one series. It does have Patton Oswalt as MODOK, which is awesome. So it's got a chance to do music together. But Bill Hader has a song on the soundtrack as Angar the Screamer called Mississippi Tingle.
Zooming on the bees are on the flat black backway. Big fat Grammy gonna overload. Squeezing on a brick top, looking for a Jimmy. Mary's taking pickles 'cause he's gonna hit slow. We got a high glider and it's never coming down. A low rider taking over the town. We're gonna split the night and it ain't surprising. Got a Mississippi tingle rising.
Bill, you can sing. It's time you embrace that.
I agree. That was a pretty rockin' Southern jam there.
One of the episodes I watch on a regular basis for documentary now is the Final Transmission, which is the tribute to Stop Making Sense, where he plays the much ignored bass player of the group. So he gets one song that apparently was not deemed album worthy and shouldn't be performed. But in the few times I've seen him do some singing, he actually does sing. I think he just needs some more confidence in it. Now, this only lasted one season, but I did get some good amusement out of it. I saw where the humor is coming from. This is a good episode for Bill, for one thing, but it's only one season, so it's a quick watch if you want to check it out.
I gotta admit, I like the clips I saw enough to make me want to check out the rest of the series. I'm a fan of Patton Oswalt's stand-up and writing, and when I saw this was very funny, and he was promoting it quite a bit on social media at this point. A lot like the Venture Brothers, the character of Samuel Stearns, the leader, is clearly just Bill doing his Vincent Price voice again.
Who's filling my ears with the nonsense while I drink Pinot Grigio?
What? Hey, that guy knows me. Hey, leader, help me out. Tell everyone how much better than you I am.
This is a sophisticated club for elite villains, not a riff-raffararium. You're out of your weight class, darling.
While the character of the Screamer, David Allen Angar, seemed to be just a generic Southern accent, but then when you put that together with him being presented as a musician, could this character have been intended as a parody of David Allen Coe? Yeah, this seems like it would be worth watching at least the episode Bill is in, the full episode, just to hear his performance. He does add to the comedy quite a bit, and his IMDb makes it seem like he appears throughout the entire episode as multiple characters when it's really just 2 instead of 4. You may have to watch the whole series to follow the plot. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I think we both would. So that's 2 thumbs up from both of us.
I got a good laugh out of it. It also has Amy Garcia, who was Forensic Techs on Lucifer, and I enjoy her as an actress. So it's enjoyable, but it's a villain who's just trying to get himself back into the mix of supreme villainy. I'm sure there'll be much more in the future from Bill when it comes to these sort of things, but those are the ones we have been able to find for now. Some things better than others, but luckily the really good stuff, there are clips online, but as we have seen, there are lots of ones that are worth watching.
Okay, and that's the episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Our next episode, where we will go back to what we did to wrap up season 31 of SNL. We will present our top 5 Bill moments or Bill-centric sketches from season 32 of SNL.
And joining us for that episode is Demi Constantine from Saturday Night Ladies. And just another Bill Gets Out of the House news. He appeared live at a screening for the new Frankenstein film, likely with his connection with Guillermo del Toro, who appeared in the final season of Barry, as well as Bill gets a thank you in the credits of Frankenstein. We don't know the context of that yet, and one thing I do like about this little appearance, he shaved. I mean, I know he's mostly in writing dad mode, but I like it when Bill Hader's clean shaven. I don't like the scraggly look, but that's a me thing.
And I believe he's also really recently been on the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast, which I think you brought up earlier.
He was on last week's episode of the podcast when they were discussing Laser Cats 5. He also, the one I referred to last episode was Good Hang with Amy Poehler.
Oh, and he's on, he was recently on another podcast, which I am following on Patreon, but haven't gotten a chance to listen to. It's Hooked to the Silver Screen. Did a Silver Screen interview with him, his love and fandom of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Podcast has uncovered a surprising connection between him and the production of Mitchell. Rumor has it he almost hosted the MST revival, so they set the record straight on that. And yeah, it's Hooked to the Silver Screen.
And this week, after the Nikki Glaser hosted episode of Saturday Night Live, Casey will be appearing on Saturday Night Ladies to go over the episode with us. But until then, I am Dees Barons and will continue to be.
And I will still be Casey Killingsworth until I'm notified otherwise.
And the thing we do, the thing that brings us joy, is We Heart Hater.
We Heart Hater. It's what we do.
Thank you for listening to We Heart Hater. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. We Heart Hater is a presentation of Wacky Notion Productions. Created by Dees Barons. Hosted by Dees Barons and Casey Killingsworth. Recording and editing by Dees Barons. Intro and outro music by Music Unlimited, used under Creative Commons license, courtesy of Pixabay.com.